On the immediate level, I have never been treated badly because of the color of my skin, whether it was a policy at school, a law, or schoolyard fights. I've never been targeted because of being white. Doesn't mean I didn't have skirmishes with a variety of people in grade school, whether it was another white kid, a black kid, a Hispanic kid. There's always those arguments, or even coming to fisticuffs in the parking lot or whatever. But this is important, and this is I want to pivot a little bit here with this issue, and differentiate between prejudice and racism, because this is something I think we get tripped up on a lot. Anyone can be prejudiced. There are prejudiced white people, prejudiced black people, prejudiced Hispanics, prejudiced Asian. Anybody can be prejudiced. We all have biases. That's part of the human experience. And so I hear a lot of people saying, well, I've experienced racism because, I was the only white guy here, and, everyone else in my neighborhood was a person of color and they picked on me. I would classify that as prejudice and bullying. Anybody can be a bully, but when we talk about racism, what we're talking about is prejudice plus power. And what I mean by power is that you are in a position to create the laws and the policy that structure society. And historically, in terms of representation, it's been predominantly white people who have had that kind of power. And I say that, and it's going to trigger, people like me probably in two ways. Number one, well, haven't we come a long way? And we certainly have, and we need to celebrate that and rejoice in the progress that we've made. But that doesn't mean we've arrived yet. And so you can celebrate, yes, it is much better than it was, but it doesn't mean we've now arrived at perfection in society, that somehow because we've done away with laws like Jim Crow, we've eradicated racism, or that racism hasn't found ways to morph itself into something else. And so there's that piece of it. The other piece is, are you saying all white people are bad? White people are terrible people, they shouldn't have power. That's not what I'm saying. It's the idea that even if I'm a conscientious white leader, making policies and laws and whatever it is, because I don't know what it's like to be a person of color, I have blind spots. You could ask me to plan a women's retreat, and I could probably do some good things, but there's things I'm going to miss just because I'm not a woman. And so when we're talking about really developing equitable policies and laws and practices, it's important to have that representation there. As a result of my skin color, I've never had issues finding representation, whether it's superheroes in movies or government leaders or pastors. My friends and colleagues who are people of color have sometimes struggled in that way.
Would you very interesting. That was a very good explanation of racism when you add prejudice with power. I'd never heard that. I really appreciate that.